understand what is the syllabus of economy to be prepared. First of all, as I already informed for the other subject around, the reading and knowing of the syllabus is very important for the preparation. So, first we must understand what to be prepared to score high in the economy paper, because your economy weightage is nearly 150 marks. So, this is a very, much having a role to play in your examination, because the weightage of the paper is too high, and many of the students can't prepare the economy well, because we feel the economy, the moment when you listen the word economy, we all feel afraid, because it is a subject which we don't have a touch for the longer time period. So in this class, first we must understand what is the syllabus, and our focus in this class is only how to prepare, and it is all about introduction, and I will show you some concepts, how you have to decode the sentences, and knowing each and every word meaning even in the definition, and the formula is also very important. Don't roughly read out the formula, know it, why it has written so. Then you don't have a chance to miss a question in the examination. So economy is such a subject, once you understand the logic behind that, you no need to study that one repeatedly like the other subjects. If you take the other subjects, politics, history, you need number of readings and revisions to remember the concept. But regarding economy, the moment when you understand what is logic behind that, then you no need to revise the subject a number of times. So that is the beauty of economy. So in these classes, we are going to see how the economy to be read in a comfortable position, in an analytical orientation. My sincere advice to this class, if you want to get a command of economy, first you start reading analytically. So analyticalness is important for the economy to get the command of the subject, not about the other subjects. So please focus. First, let's understand what is your syllabus. Your entire economy paper is 150 marks. Under that, it has 3 different parts. First part is about Indian economy, second part is about Telangana economy, third part is issues of development and change. So we have the 3 different parts. Under each part, we have the 50 marks weightage. So this paper 50, this paper 50, this paper 50. Many of the students commit the mistake, they read the Indian economy a lot and they neglect this portion. They read these 2 and neglect the issues of development and change. But my advice to all of you, focus on all the papers equally, because every paper has the weightage, 50 marks. So don't read the Indian economy and Telangana economy extensively and don't neglect the third paper. Majority of the students are committing this mistake. So we rectify this mistake and we give equal importance to all the 3 parts, and we have to see how we score better in all the 3 parts, because every paper has 50, 50, 50 equal weightage. On an average, they maintain the near weightage for the 3 papers in the 150 marks weightage. So, first of all, how the Indian economy was divided. If you see the group 2 paper, why I am focusing today, just to explain what is the syllabus, because if you see just the group 2 notification, under the Indian economy, we see only these 4 headlines. The calculation of national income, the 5-year plans, nothing but the planning in India, poverty and unemployment, economic growth. These are only 4 chapters you will see when you look at your notification. But as of my perspective, if you want to write the exam in a better way, and even if you want to write the group 1 examination, you have to read more topics, because some topics are interlinked with this one. Suppose, let's understand why it is important to read so much of extra information also rather than this. Because here they have simply written, it is the national income, the calculation of national income. First of all, without going for the much of the definitions, if I roughly speaks about what is the meaning of national income, what is the definition of national income, it is the individual incomes together within a nation. Yes or no? I am not talking about the definitions much here. If I roughly speaks about what is national income, it is individual income together. If I speak out, it is a national income. And the government also generates some of the income from the people. Suppose if I speak about each and every individual income together with the government income, it is roughly a national income. You must understand how the government generate the money first. How the individual pay the taxes to the government, because the budget also has weightage in your syllabus. The economic survey, the survey always can be given before the budget can be placed. So from the survey, from the budget also, there are lot many chances the questions can be asked. So many of the students are they are not giving much of the importance for the public finance matters, how the banks gets runs, because the national income you can't differentiate from the revenue. Yes or no? The national income, and even suppose as an individual, I want to establish some of the business in the country. I need financial support or not? Definitely I need financial support. Bank is one of the organization where I get the financial support. Yes or no? So you must understand how the banking system works, how the prices gets maintained by the government. That's why rather than only these 4 topics, I give importance to so many topics, because it is very important to read all those chapters for your group 2, for the depth paper, and for the group 1. Especially for the group 1 prelims, you need the knowledge of all those chapters. And if you want to write even the civil services, the group 4, any exam, maybe SSC, all the examinations, they touch each and every chapter of that. So in our classes, I will give the focus to prepare your examination to the level of civil services, so that your group 1 paper prelims also you will just write paperwork. So don't think only 4 chapters are there. There are so many chapters. Roughly I did 13 chapters. 13 chapters from these 4 chapters. So have that patience and learn more, so that you don't miss any question in the examination. And if you come to the Telangana economy, you have a syllabus of economy in undivided Andhra Pradesh. Nothing but the Telangana economy in the united Andhra Pradesh. What was the position? And land reforms, that is one of the chapter. Agriculture and allied sector and the industrial sector. This is the syllabus mentioned. But you must know what is the Telangana economic performance even after the bifurcation. Yes or no? The syllabus, though it has mentioned only undivided AP matter, but you people are not understanding whatever they ask the agriculture and allied sector, they are asking about the current scenario. That means you must understand after the state has bifurcated, what is the current Telangana economy position. So here, they just simply written service sector. You must understand health, you must understand education, how it is performing, regarding the welfare schemes for all the, like the Telangana famous welfare schemes of Dalita Bandhu, Raitu Bandhu, Asara pensions, all these things you must have an idea. And here also the sectors of, here they have simply written economic growth. Economic growth. Growth is a very big term, and they have written growth and development. Economic growth and development. Development includes all the sectors, yes or no? You need how the country gets developed, how the country see the growth. Definitely you have to focus on the equal development of all the sectors in the country, whether it is agriculture, industry or service sector. So within the Indian economy also we must understand how the sectors of economy gets performed, how the agriculture sector, industrial sector and the service sector gets performed in the country. So we must focus in-depth analysis, and we have to read even the Telangana budget and Telangana economic survey also. Then only we can understand how the programs are performing better in the Telangana. And always my sincere advice, it is a 150 marks of weightage paper. Have a command of so many depth concepts. Then only you have a chance to score high in that paper. The moment when you score high in this paper, you are already in line to your success. Because so many people can't write this paper that easily. So that's why always I give the importance to the economy paper more, because this is a tough subject. So many people feel it's not tough. Actually it's not tough, but the people has that type of feeling. That's why people get neglected in this paper. You please focus on this paper so that you have an advantage compared to the others. So this is how the economy paper was segregated in the part 2. but we have to read along with the Telangana economy, performance after the bifurcation, Telangana budget, Telangana economic survey, the education sector, the health sector, all these things we must have an idea based on your survey reports. Always maintain the survey reports because economy means digits. Economy means you have to remember the digits. So where you get the exact information, don't roughly go and Google anything and get the information. Always go for the official government reports for the economy because the Google write anywhere, any person can write on the Google page, they may give the false information at times. So if you are giving already much effort to read the economy, go for the official government reports so that you get the information from the government reports itself, then it will be a genuine reports. So my sincere advice, whatever we give the statistics in the class, follow those statistics. Okay, so I give all the latest statistics after the budget has placed. After the budget has placed, whether it is India and the Telangana. And if you come to the third part, majority of the students are not focusing in this area, but it also has 50 marks weightage. So it is development dynamics. It is talking about development dynamics. Under that, we have so many sub-chapters like the social inequalities, the gender differences, and migration problems, unemployment problems. All these are there under the development dynamics. And development and displacement. Nothing but whenever you have to do the development within the country, some of the people gets displaced. Yes or no? If you want to construct the road, we have to evacuate some of the people and we have to rehabilitate them. That means the displacement is a very common phenomenon when the development gets done in the country. So what is the effect of displacement? We have the different type of the protection laws to the citizens whenever they get displaced in the developmental process. So all these things were covered under the development and displacement chapter, and the right to transparent and fair compensation in the land acquisition is also a part of development and displacement, and that is one of the best law for the land acquisition programs presently running in the government. So we must have an idea how the displacement can be done and what is the protection we are giving to the citizens and what is the process for the acquisition of the land from the citizens. So all these details covered by this chapter. And we all having awareness, economical reforms have changed the face of the country itself. Earlier we have the crisis-like situation in the period of 1990 with the initiation of economical reforms, as famously we known it as LPG reforms, liberalization, privatization and globalization. Under the LPG reforms, we call it as famously the economical reforms. There is so much of the change we have seen in the country's economical growth rate. So we have a syllabus, how these economical reforms were introduced and what is the effect of these economical reforms on the growth and development of the country, and even how we have seen the effect of these economical reforms on the economical inequality also, the rich and poor differences. We have so much of the content to be read under economical reforms chapter because this is one of the milestone we say in the Indian economical process. That's why we have the economical reform syllabus also. So we have to read this chapter in depth. And followed by sustainable development. Nowadays, all the governments are focusing on the sustainable development because the United Nations Development Program Organization has given 17 goals. It has given total 17 goals for all the nations. For all the nations to be fulfilled by 2030. By 2030, it has kept the 17 goals and every country has some of the target to be reached. And UNDP has asked all the nations to make their plans on the developmental process to reach those goals by 2020. So we have a syllabus of sustainable development and we have to read what are the developmental goals and what is the India's success by this time and where we are lacking and how the government is striving hard to achieve those goals. So in this way, our syllabus has segregated for the 150 marks paper. But we must understand that the content you have to read is little more what I have displayed on the board. More than that actually. So for your understanding today, roughly we take the starting chapter, that is national income. So I will show you how the classes will be, and how analytical sense you require for solving the questions. It is all about applicability. Economy, you never see a question direct. Only few questions, and from few chapters you see the questions directly. Poverty and unemployment, the questions maybe you can solve directly. But the moment when you come to the economical growth and development, the national income calculations, in this type of chapters, you need analytical ability to solve the better marks in your paper. So, without having much delay, let's start our first chapter. And though it is an introduction class, but I want to give some of the at least the crisp how the classes will be. Okay, so let's see how the national income gets calculated. First of all, national income. The calculation of national income, if we understand the definition, the national income can be calculated with the different methods. We have the different type of methods for the calculation of the national income. And how we calculate the national income. There are different type of methods. One is production method. Second is income method. Third is expenditure method. Expenditure method. Before we start discussing about what are the different type of methods like production, income and the expenditure method, let's see what are the different type of measures, to be used for the national income calculation. If we see theoretically, there are different measures how we can calculate the national income. Those measures can be divided into GDP, nothing but gross domestic product. Gross domestic product. GNP, gross national product. NDP, net domestic product. NNP, net national product. And PI, personal income. DI, disposable income. We have the GDP, GNP, NDP, NNP, PI, DI. These are the different type of measures available theoretically to calculate the national income of any country. But in India, famously we calculate the national income based on GDP, the gross domestic product. So, whenever we calculate the GDP in the Indian perspective, we have again the different methods around to calculate the national income. Those are production method, income method, expenditure method. How one is different from the other, and first of all, what is the definition given for the national income to be calculated? The national income is calculated based on the definition. It is final value of goods and services, or for the better understanding, write it. It is value of final goods and services produced within the country for particular time period. It is value of final goods and services produced within the country for a particular time period. How this definition can be understandable? First of all, the value of final goods and services. It is the calculation of value of final goods and services. And the next key line is produced within the country. Produced within the country for a particular time period. Maybe it is for 1 year time period, 6 months, or whatever the time period. We are calculating the production here. Produced. Produced means it is all about the production. Under the production, we are taking the value of final goods and services produced in the country. How this definition can be understandable? First of all, if you roughly calculate without taking any precautionary measures, if I roughly says, let's take some of the sectors into consideration. What are the different sectors? The production can be done into different type of sectors. Yes or no? We have the different sectors in the economy. One is agriculture sector. Agriculture sector includes all the allied sectors here. Agriculture sector and all the allied sectors. Agriculture means we talk about togetherness of all the allied sectors, maybe the poultry, the fisheries, the prawn culture, all things around. Together we speak about the agriculture. And the production is a possibility in agriculture sector or not? There is a production in the agriculture sector. And the next important sector is industrial sector, and there is always a possibility in the industrial sector, the production. And here we can speak about, this is the production of goods. Goods. What is first difference between goods and services? Goods means which are in a physical format, we can able to touch and feel it. That is called as good. This duster is referred as good. But the service is, you can't see it in a physical format and you can't touch it and feel it, like the service. Service, education sector is a service. You can see the quality of my class, but you can't see it with your visible eye. This is referred as service sector. This is called as service. That's why all the service sector, the production has given only in the form of the services. So we are taking both the goods and services. In the definition, we are taking both the goods and services into consideration. So it is the value of final goods and services both. So we take all the sectors production into consideration, whether it is a goods, whether it is a service. That is what mean by goods and services. And final value. We are talking about value of final goods. First of all, without talking about the precautionary measures here, let's roughly write how the production can be taken into consideration. Suppose, if you take the agriculture sector production, every stream has its own production, yes or no? If you go to the maize farmer, he has his own production. If you go to the poultry business, he has his own production. If you go to the prawn culture, they have some production. And every production has its value. Yes or no? Every production, if I calculate the quantity produced into price. If I calculate the production of quantity of goods, quantity means in numbers. Quantity means I can say it in numbers. Suppose I can say my industry production capacity is 20 units. This is the quantity, yes or no? Quantity means 20 units. This is called as quantity, the production capacity of a particular industry. If you take agriculture also, I can say my 1 acre of land production capacity is 20 bags. 20 bags. That means This is the quantity of production. And each unit of production, whatever the units you take, whether it is a kilo, whether it is a quintal, whether it is a, any other measures, if you take it in the 50 kg bag, any other format, we refer it as unit. If I calculate each unit price, and if we multiply the quantity into price, then I get the value of a total production. Yes or no? Value of total production. How the value of total production can be calculated? It is nothing but quantity into price. 20 units of production, that is the quantity, and each unit cost around 5 rupees. So the value of your particular industry is 100 rupees. Value of particular industry is 100 rupees. In this way, if we calculate the value of each and every industry, that is the goods, into consideration, then if we sum up all these final value of goods and services, suppose from agriculture, our value of agriculture sector is suppose 100 crore rupees. I am taking it in the crore rupees because the macroeconomic level. So 100 crore. And if we take the industrial sector, it has some more 500 crore capacity. And the service sector, as I informed, it cannot be taken into quantity. So it is taken as a quality into price. The price can be always decided for the service sector based on the quality of the service. You can't measure it in the quantity. That is the difference between goods and services. If you go to the doctor, suppose, you will see what is his service capacity. Yes or no? And definitely we see what the experience of a particular doctor. If he is having 30 years of experience, we are ready to pay more for him because he is an experienced person and we have a hope his quality of service is very good. Already it is proved that the quality of the particular person's service is too good in the market. That's why we are ready to pay more for the service. So here, if you calculate the service sector economy, it is based on the quality. But the agriculture and the industry, we calculate the value based on the quantity. This is the quality. Whatever, whether you calculate in the quantity or the quality, if we multiply that one with the price, then we get the value. And we are taking into consideration the value of those final goods and services produced. The value of those final goods and services produced in the country. If you read the economy word by word, though it takes a little bit of more time to you, and I will promise you will get the command of economy. But you need a little bit of patience. And you must understand why it is important in the definition. Don't mug up the definition. Just try to understand why the definition has written so. Then you don't need to bother about remembering the definition. Automatically you can able to connect in the options. So this is how you have to prepare the economy. That's why I give the importance to each and every word explanation in the class so that you will get the command of the subject. I don't ask you to mug up the economy, including formula. Never ever try to mug up the economic formula. You will get confused with the plus and minus. Just learn why it has added, just learn why it has deleted or subtracted. Then only you will get the command on the formula also. How the options gets confused, then also you don't get into that trap. You will always come up with the correct answer. That is the purpose of the class. So give the focus to all the things, all the words, what I am trying to explain in the class. So suppose here we have taken 100 crore is the agriculture industry value and agriculture value, and the industrial sector is some more 500 crore. And if we take the service sector, this is suppose 700 crore. The definition is saying it is value of the final goods and services produced within the country. That means it is talking about the production has done within the territory of India. It is talking about the boundary of India. It is not talking about the citizenship. It is talking about the within the territory, whether it is an Indian national or foreign national. We have the foreign investments, yes or no? We have the foreign investments. Though suppose one of the foreign investor has came to India, he established the industry here within the territory of India, and he is producing some of the product, and his production capacity is suppose 500 units, and the value of his industry worth is maybe the 2000 rupees. And while calculating GDP within the country, we take into consideration. That means the 2000 rupees worth of foreign national production capacity also we take into consideration. The GDP is talking about the production within the country, whether it is the Indian national or foreign national. Whoever is the producer here, we don't bother about producer, we bother about only within the country production. We are not having a worry towards the producer. We have only worry towards the whether the production has done within the boundary of the country or not. That is only our priority here. And for a particular time period, most commonly we take it as for the 1 year time period. Regularly, we take the calculation for the 1 year time period. This is the general way of understanding the definition of national income, especially the GDP, because the India calculated in the GDP format. And how the different methods were explained here. We said this GDP can be calculated with the production method, income method, and expenditure method. So let's understand how these different methods calculate the GDP for the country. First of all, production method. Name itself speaks about it is the production. So for the production method, we take the gross value added into consideration. To calculate the production method, we take into consideration the gross value added on each and every stage of production cycle. We take the gross value added at each and every stage of production cycle. The gross value added at each and every stage of production cycle we take into consideration. If we take all these gross value addition together, then it is the production method of calculation of GDP. How we understand this gross value addition? The gross value addition is nothing but, first I will explain in the formula format, then I will decode how the formula was written. Yeah? The gross value added, it is famously written as GVA, gross value added. It is the final value of a product minus cost of intermediary consumption. It is the final value of a product minus cost of intermediary consumption. How we can understand this one? First of all, to understand this one, as I already informed, we have the different type of sectors. Agriculture, industrial sector and the service sector. And no sector can work without having a support of other sector. Yes, sir. Every sector has some of the raw material from the other sector around. Suppose only few industries are having the footloseness. We say it is a footloose industries. Nothing but they don't need to depend much on the different factors. But many of the industries in our country are having a dependency on the other industries and they need so many factors for the production purpose. One of the important factor under the production process is required as raw materials. For any industry, the important thing required is raw material. Without having a raw material, we can't produce anything. So you roughly take any of the industry, maybe the way you are sitting down. the benches, I take into consideration the tables. And first, you need some of the raw materials for the making of a table. How the table gets manufactured? First, you have to procure the raw material. Yes or no? What are the raw materials you require for the making of table? First, we have to collect the wood and iron, steel for the fixation purpose, screws and all, and along with that we need gum for the food processing purpose. So in this way, you need roughly some of the raw materials. And if I take into consideration the value of my industry, suppose I have a industry which manufacture the tables, that is my industry. I have a table manufacturing industry, and if you ask me, ma'am, what is the worth of your industry? What is the worth of your industry? I say, I have a production capacity of 500 units, and each unit is cost around 20 rupees. So my industry capacity is 10,000 rupees. This is how I give the value of my industry. As I already explained, this is the quantity into price. Quantity into price. But if you understand the 10,000 rupees worth or the value of my industry, if you really understand what has happened here, I said this is the units of production and this is the price. Yes or no? As an industrialist, how can I fix the price of a product? As an industrialist, how can I fix the price of a product? First, I will see what is the raw material cost to be. Yes or no? What is the raw material cost to be? Suppose I have invested on all these raw materials roughly 2,000 rupees. I have invested 2,000 rupees for the procuring of this raw materials. Under that, again I have segregated. For the wood, I spent roughly 700 rupees. For the iron, I have spent 300 rupees. And for the steel, I have spent 800 rupees. And for the gum, I have spent 200 rupees. This is in total 2,000 rupees. Yes, I know. This is my raw material procurement cost. So, based on including the raw material cost and the different type of factors of production required. What are the factors of production generally?